Risk of Rain 2 has a brand new DLC coming out on November 18th called Alloyed Collective. This DLC is fully themed around robotic enemies we know and love, such as the Soulless Probes, Soulless Control Units, and of course the Alloy Worship Unit. But what does this DLC add specifically? This is subject to change slightly, but they have announced that we will be getting 2 new survivors, 6 new stages, 6 new enemies, 15 new items, new bosses and a new final boss, a new elite type, new skins, and 7 new drones. That's great and all, but I need more info. So I scoured all of the Risk of Rain social media posts, the dev diaries, the store page, the stream preludes, and anything else I could find to put together a detailed list of everything we know so far about Alloyed Collective. And let me just tell you, I dug deep. I found out things I don't even know if they know they showed. First, let's start with what we mostly all know, the survivors. This DLC will give us 2 new survivors, and that is Operator and Drifter. Operator is brand new for this DLC, while Drifter was introduced back in Risk of Rain Returns. So far, these are the abilities of Operator that we know. The passive: start each stage with 2 drones. Similar to Captain's Beacons, you can choose which 2 drones you want to start with each stage that automatically repair when downed. The options are Gunner Drone, Healing Drone, and a 3rd new drone known as the Transport Drone. Well, we don't know what this one does yet. The primary is a pistol that ricochets on kill. It holds charges that allow the first shot to be stronger the more charges there are. If you fill all the charges, you shoot a railgun, but this can also just be held down to fire full auto. The secondary: command a drone to use its special skill. Every drone will have its own unique skill that Operator can utilize, which means the drones you pick up will be more important than usual. For example, the Healing Drone gives a burst of healing for you and your allies and boosts your speed temporarily. The utility: command a drone to lift you into the air for a controlled fall. You can also jump from drone to drone and use all your other abilities while falling. The special: launch a drone that knocks enemies up and deals damage. Enemies also receive a condition called Nanobugged, which increases damage done against them. Now let's move on to Drifter. Here is what we know about her kit so far. The passive: she gains stackable buffs by collecting item scrap from scrappers. I won't list all of them myself, but here are the buffs if you want to read them yourself. The primary: she bashes enemies with her sack. Yeah, that's exactly how they worded it too. And each hit has a chance to drop junk. I'll talk about that in a moment. The secondary: the only one we actually know is her ult secondary, but she can create a cube of junk on cooldown or use the junk that she gains from her primary to use it off cooldown. The cube can be launched at enemies up to 3 times, and the 3rd time it explodes on impact. The utility: you can put a monster or interactable into a bag and then beat them to death in the bag. You can also throw what's inside the bag for big damage and fun interactions. The bigger the thing in the bag, the more damage it will do. The special: you can consume 8 junk and spawn 4 temporary items. Now that we have those 2 covered, we get to talk about temporary items. Temporary items are a new item type in Risk of Rain 2 that first debuted in Risk of Rain Returns. I'm not sure how long these items will last, whether that be 1 stage or on an actual timer like 5 minutes. There are also multiple new ways to get temp items other than Drifter. From what they've shown, it looks like there is a printer or shop interactable, a new legendary item, and a new drone that all give you temp items. A transition time! Now that we're on the topic of drones, let's talk about the new drones they have shown. And even the ones they haven't. There are 7 new drones, but I was only able to uncover 6 of them. The 2 that they announced are the Freeze Drone and the Bombardment Drone. The Freeze Drone fires a disc that bounces 6 times between enemies and freezes them, while the Bombardment Drone fires a huge AoE shock attack below it. The Temp Items Drone assumedly gives temp items somehow, but that's all I can assume. The Transport Drone: I don't really know what this does yet, but we do know the name, and my best guess is that it moves the player similarly to Operator's utility, but I can't confirm. The Jailer Drone routes all enemies in an area for a certain amount of time.
I don't think they meant to show that one.
And the Cleanup Drone. We also do not guaranteed know what this one does, but my guess is that it picks up all collectibles like Bandolier, Gore's Tome, and maybe items, but we can see it in action here, maybe going after low health enemies as a cleanup crew. Then one more drone I was not able to find any info about, but this is what it looks like. Maybe some sort of scanner drone. I also looked at Risk of Rain 2013 and Risk of Rain Returns drones to see if there was any overlap, but I wasn't able to find any resemblance with those. Now let's talk about the 6 new stages. So far we only know about 5 of them from what I could tell. The 2 that were officially announced and showcased are Pretender's Precipice, which is an ashy, snowy map that has some caves, and Empyrean Adamants, which is an old desert mining site also with caves. And this one looks gorgeous. Then I'm pretty sure this one is called Repurposed Crater, which is a crater with old technology scattered throughout. And I'm pretty sure this one is called the Conduit Canyon, which is a cool alloy worship unit style map that looks really futuristic. And then finally the map for the new final boss fight, which I will get to later. Supposedly there's one more, but they've held that one close to their chest. Let's quickly go over some skins that were teased. They look to be alloy worship unit flavored with the leaves on the heads, but they all seem rather similar, so I hope there's some good variation between them. Next is the elite type. Honestly, I found literally nothing on this, so sorry about that one. Let's run through the teased items next. The Faraday Spurs generate electric charge while sprinting, which increases speed and jump height. You can then jump, consume the charge, and unleash an explosion. Box of Dynamite allows drones to drop dynamite and give you an ally drone named Lieutenant Drone Boy. We love Lieutenant Drone Boy already, I would protect him with my life. The new equipment, Deus Ex Machina, allows you to parry an attack with some other benefits like a guaranteed proc on your next hit. There's a new legendary item called the Orphaned Core, which spawns a buddy drone that rolls around and slams into enemies. It also inherits all of your speed items for extra damage. And I just learned while editing this, you can pet the little lad. This changes everything. The Hiker's Boots make it so that being at a higher elevation than enemies grants higher crit chance and crit damage. Then there's the Eclipse Light. We don't know what this does yet, but it does look delicious. Then I was able to find this weird green shield, but not a clue what it does or what it's called. Then I found this weird legendary item that looks like a Wi-Fi router, and a new lunar item that looks like a kettlebell. Again, don't really know what that does, but lunars are always wild cards. Now for the new enemies. The Soulless Invalidator fires bursts of energy so powerful they get launched back with recoil, but getting hit removes all of your items for a small period of time. The Soulless Cultivator is a drone that locks onto your location and then dashes at you with a drill. The Soulless Extractor is a drone that steals one of your items and then runs away like a little rat, only giving the item back upon killing it. The Soulless Transporter is a drone that shoots a gravity beam that sucks everything toward the center after a moment. And the Soulless Scorcher. I mean, it's a flamethrower drone, but it also throws tar that slows. Now on to other enemies, the new teleporter boss and a new final boss. There may be more than one new teleporter boss, but the only one I was able to find we don't have any information on, but we do have a sneak peek at it in this clip. It looks to be another version of the Soulless Control unit, but who knows what new attacks it may have. My guess, lasers. As for the final boss, yo, this shit looks electric. It seems to be very akin to a 2D platformer boss fight with lasers everywhere that the player must dodge. We've seen very little of this fight, but it seems like a lot of bobbing and weaving will be involved, which should be fun. And it has a flamethrower, and it looks like there are other enemies around it during the fight. It also seems like there will be a separate portal to go there, maybe similar to False Sun. Now for all the smaller miscellaneous things that popped up but were not mentioned. First is the drone multi-shops, pretty self-explanatory. You get 3 drone options and you can choose which one you want. It also seems like they are now showing how many mountain shrines you have activated by stacking them on a teleporter. There are like 3 or 4 different examples of this, so I'm like 99% sure that's going to be a thing. There's also this weird teleporter ball shock thing. I don't know, dude. Also, whatever this weird red shrine is. Also, a new blue combat shrine, maybe specifically to spawn alloyed enemies, but I'm not sure. And then this weird triangle dude on this one stage. I don't know if that's an interactable at all, but it looks cool, and I don't know what it does, but I want to. And that is all I was able to find at the time of recording this video. Let me know anything that I may have missed, and let me know which part you are most excited about for Alloyed Collective. And thank you all for watching.